The Colonial Ledger. Picture Quentin Sawyer, a tobacco planter in the Virginia lowlands, his days measured not by the sun, but by the weight of hogsheads rolling toward distant ports. A man bound to the soil, his fortunes tied to leaves that yellowed under a relentless sky, while across the ocean, ledgers balanced empires. Quentin dreamed of a simple bargain, a contract to sell his crop and claim a fair share, unaware that the ink on those pages flowed from a distant hand, one that tallied gains for kings and left crumbs for the tillers. His hope kindled in the flicker of opportunity, but shadows lengthened as the scales tipped inevitably into the invisible hand. Quentin Sawyer let the smile fade, the Virginia sun baking his modest plantation into cracked earth. It was 1725, and tobacco, his life's blood, fetched a pittance at the warehouses. Debts mounted like storm clouds, 200 pounds owed to the local factor for seeds and tools, another 150 pounds to a Scots merchant for cloth and iron. His wife, Mary, rationed the last of the cornmeal, their children growing thin. "We need a way out," Quentin muttered, poring over a tattered broadsheet from Williamsburg. It spoke of England's booming trade, how colonial goods fueled the mother country's wealth. Whispers in the tavern promised relief, direct contracts with London merchants, bills of exchange that could ship tobacco abroad and return hard coin. Desperation drove him to the rolling house at Jamestown, where inspectors weighed his harvest. There he met Mr. Reginald Bladen, a sharp-eyed customs official visiting from the Board of Trade, fresh from penning essays on colonial commerce. Bladen, ever the advocate for English interests, eyed Quentin's crop appraisingly. "The colonies are England's bloodline," Bladen declared, his voice carrying the weight of authority. "Your tobacco offsets our debts to France. Your demand for wool and linen doubles our mill's output. Profits flow back to the Crown. Submit to the regulations, and you'll thrive under them." Quentin, heart-pounding, saw salvation. Bladen offered a contract, a bill of exchange for Quentin's entire yield, 500 hogsheads at 3 shillings per pound, payable in London upon delivery. Quentin would advance a portion in wampum notes, the rest deferred. "This binds us fairly," Bladen assured, signing with a flourish. "England consumes 1/6 our wool, twice the calico. Your goods keep our ships full, our navy timbered. In return, trade rules ensure your submission, but your purse fills. No smuggling, no rebellion, just honest exchange." Quentin believed it utterly. Here was structure amid chaos, a ledger promising redemption. He poured his last savings into the deal, envisioning Mary with new linens, the children fed on imported sugars. Weeks blurred into anxious waits. Quentin's tobacco rolled to the docks, inspected and certified under the 1730 Virginia statute. Ships laden with it sailed for Bristol, but replies trickled back like drips from a leaky barrel. Bladen's essay, circulated to Lord Townshend that next year in 1726, painted the colony's bounty, goods worth 700,000 pounds sold annually, supporting 200,000 English souls, with tobacco revenues balancing the ledger against Russia and France. Yet Quentin's payments? Delayed by navigation acts, rerouted through English ports where duties siphoned half the value. His bill of exchange, once crisp promise, depreciated in the humid air. Traders in London discounted it at 2-to-1 against sterling. Panic set in as winter bit. Quentin confronted the factor. "The contract was to free us." But the man shrugged, citing Bladen's words now public. Profits returned to England, assemblies mere corporations under the Crown. Quentin's tobacco, meant to offset imperial imbalances, instead enriched merchants who pocketed the arbitrage. Regulations, taxes on intercolonial shipments, mandates for English shipping kept him chained, his desperation mocked by the very trade that benefited all. He pawned his tools for corn, Mary wept over empty pots, and Bladen's essay read like a taunt. Submission ensured, the little man's toil the invisible fuel for an empire's fire. In the end, Quentin burned the broadsheet, his contract ashes in the hearth. The invisible hand had balanced the scales, not for him, but for those who held the quill. Quentin Sawyer sought a ledger's justice in a world of ledgers, only to find the entries rigged from afar. He learned that trade's promises are chains disguised as lifelines, binding the desperate while lifting the distant few. For in the grand arithmetic of empire, one man's crop becomes another's subsidy, and the hand that guides the market cares little for the fingers it crushes. Quentin returned to his fields, richer in resentment, but poorer in coin, a footnote in the vast, unyielding book of the invisible hand.